Now, the event feature on Seasonax allows us to see the reaction of instruments to market-moving economic data. So if you look here, we just click on events, and then we'll have a look at the significant data point that we have got coming up in terms of the US CPI. So you just simply scroll through the reports. We can see US CPI print. What we can see is over the last sort of 5 years, if you look at the reaction of gold to the US CPI, and you can search any instrument here to see the reaction, but the day before and the day after, gold tends to rise into the US CPI event and out of the CPI PM event.
Just a piece in
Now,
the Global Times.
What's really interesting here is when we take a look at the reaction of gold out of the US CPI print, we can see, yes, it still tends to have a bias to the upside. It is marginal, but when it does outperform, look, you see there's the largest gain has been 3.11%, and it has been more recently that we've seen that very, very large gain, and that came in October 2023. So will we see a gain of over 3% in gold again if we see an out of set consensus print for CPI? So if we see the month-on-month data, if we see the headline for the year-on-year coming at 3%, if we see the core coming in 3.7% or lower, and then if we see the month-on-month coming in 0.1% for the headline and 0.10% lower for the core CPI, then will we see gold gain 3% tomorrow? It's definitely one event not to miss. The major risk here, of course, is that you get high inflation, and that's likely to weigh on gold to the downside.